It's time for another tale from the glass-guarded world, with Brian as Paxton the human cleric and fighter, Danielle as Athelflaed the halfling rogue and monk, Ashley as Tara Dane the human fighter, Chris as Aster Fortuna the half-elf rogue and bard, and me, Mike, as the DM. The adventurers have finally arrived in the Iron Empire and are planning an expedition to the Eastern Bubble, a bubble in the glass wall of the world. They were invited to spend the night in an inn by a dwarf named Bovin, and he has asked them to go to the market square the next morning to buy some healing potions for him at illegally high prices. In exchange, he has given them false papers so that they can pretend they are traveling legally, and he has promised to help them reach the Eastern Bubble. All he asks is a simple shopping trip. Bovin gives you rooms in his inn for the night. The market square won't be open until the next day, of course. The rooms aren't great, but it's dead quiet, and you get a good long rest. Paxton, you've had a full rest, but you're troubled by strange dreams that night. You've had some of these in the past. You keep dreaming of the sun, but it isn't ring-shaped. It's solid in the middle like a disc. And there's something else, but when you wake up, you can't remember it. But when you do wake up, there's a small figure standing on your bed staring at you. And it's Lumpin.
Okay. Don't scare me like that.
Yeah. And Lumpin is just standing there watching you.
Morning, Lumpin. What you doing?
Good morning, Paxton. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You were talking in your sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Well, most of it was nonsense. I didn't understand it. But you did say several times you were going to tell everyone where they were really going, and you wouldn't let them do it to you. What does that mean?
I wish I could tell you. I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, you said, I'm going to tell everyone where everyone's really going, and you can't do it to me, I won't let you, and that kind of thing.
Well, I tell you what, I'm ready to really go to breakfast. How about you, Lumpin?
I don't eat.
You want to come with me?
Sure.
Okay. Let's go.
What's it like to eat?
It tastes good.
What's it like to taste?
That's a tough question. It's fun. I wish that you could do it.
Aww. All right. So you go downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Bovin gives you a breakfast of some gritty bread. It hasn't the wheat hasn't been milled well. Some gritty bread and some decent ale. Unless you don't want ale.
No, I'll take the ale.
You'll take the ale. All right. And after breakfast, he says, all right, I hope that will hold you over. Now, get out there and find me potions of healing. Remember, not to cause any trouble. Ask the man with the red cart to sell you his best red juice at the best price.
Got it.
Right? Any questions?
Have you ever dealt with this guy before?
No, but I've had friends who have said he's passing through town and might be able to help me out.
So no one's had any deals with him go sideways or anything like that?
Not that I know of, but I don't even know his name.
Fair enough.
Anybody else? Any questions? Anything else?
No, are we all together when
Yeah,
he's
you're
talking?
all downstairs
Okay.
eventually, yeah. Anybody have any questions or anything else you want to do before you go? Epilema is down here eating some breakfast as well. You don't see her friends, but you see those two shadowy, menacing ladies being shadowy and menacing in the corner again. This time eating some breakfast.
I guess we go look for juice
Okay.
in a bar.
Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
Feels like a cool autumn day outside. The sun is brightening a bit later in the morning. The streets are wet. It must have rained some last night after you went to bed. The buildings don't look quite as grim in the daytime, but they still look pretty grim. At least the rain cleaned the streets a bit. The inn's sign is now visible above the doorway. Apparently the inn is called the Blackwood. It is indeed constructed of stone and a very dark wood. You can see now that the narrow street runs nearly north-south, with the market square to the north. You can also see the city walls in the distance. It's not enormous, though. The wall is maybe 25 feet tall, with occasional round towers, except at the gates, which have square towers. To the northwest of town, however, is a large keep. The walls around it are easily 40 feet tall, and the keep itself is even larger. And you can see on top of its tallest tower is a large white flag with a dark gray circle in the middle.
Do you know what that flag is? Is it just the city flag or the empire flag?
Roll a history check.
11.
You're not sure, but you think it is probably a national flag of some kind. It might be the imperial flag.
Okay.
You never really paid that much attention to heraldry, I guess.
I totally believe that.
Okay. There are people walking up and down the street, but you see that people are mostly standing around outside businesses in queues or lines. There are a few businesses that don't experience this. For example, there's a jeweler on the street who seems to have no one waiting in line outside her shop at all. And these people waiting in these long lines don't seem to be talking very much. They're just sort of standing around, waiting.
Are they in line for something that we can tell?
Well, the door to these shops are open, so there's a potter and there's a baker, and the doors are open, and people are the line sort of winds around the front of the building and into the doorway of the building. You don't know why they're waiting in these lines, but they're waiting in these lines that go into the buildings.
I guess I'll ask one of the the people standing in line, what the line is for.
Yeah, little person. We wait in line to get into the shop to buy our bread for the day. I hope there's some left when I get there.
Wow, that's a long line.
Yeah, but at least the bread is cheap.
Do I see a red cart?
You haven't reached the square yet, so no, not yet.
How much are they selling that bread for?
It's very cheap. It's a copper for a loaf.
Is it any good?
No, but it's cheap.
Well, carry on.
What happens if the bread runs out? You get to eat for the day.
No, cannot eat bread that does not exist, no.
There's no other place in the area.
There are other bakers, but they all have the same thing.
Got it.
Oh, it's the greedy farmers. They won't make enough.
Okay. Thank you. Swell.
Lazy.
Gentlemen.
When they say the farmers...
everybody around him nods. Yeah, lazy farmers, yeah.
Oh, when they say farmers, are they referring to just the free cities mostly?
Well, you know that some grain is grown here as well. It's not clear which farmers they'd be referring to.
Do I get the impression that it's probably because the farmers can't sell the grain at whatever the regulated price is?
You don't know. You don't have a farmer here to talk to.
That's fair.
That's what I was thinking, because it sounds like this is a very communistic kind of empire.
Yeah, it sounds like they've shifted the blame from the price regulation to the lazy farmers.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, as you move toward the square has more activity with merchants setting up stalls. There's an active haggling over these goods, though you notice they tend to be luxuries, or at least things that are not essential. Books, fine cloth, artwork, and a few caged wild animals are all for sale here. There don't seem to be many buyers, though, just a lot of lookers.
What kind of animals?
There are some foxes. There are some foxes in cages, and some squirrels, actually. But there's not a lot. No big bears or anything like that.
Are they domesticated, or are they selling these as, food?
These are being sold to be fur.
Oh.
No owlbears.
No owlbears, no.
Dang it.
How would you train an owlbear in this?
Animal handling checks?
Many, yes.
You keep making animal handling checks until it eats you.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are looking around. I'll make perception checks for you, I guess.
Yes. I am specifically looking for a red cart,
Yeah,
though.
it's not hard to find a red cart. And in fact, Tara and Athelflad spot the red cart first. You spot it at the same time. You see this bright red cart, in fact, with black wheels and a man standing on it in fine robes, and he's shouting about fresh juice straight from the free cities. You also notice, however, that although Bovin told you that he would have 2 orcs, in fact, he has 4 orcs with him. Large, imposing, armored figures. And in contrast to the human on the cart, the orcs are not trying to look friendly. They look intimidating. And as you watch, a man in a bright uniform wearing a helmet with a horsehair crest walks up and buys a large bottle of yellowish-brownish juice from him. The merchant is very polite to this man. And though you can't hear their conversation from here, you get the sense that the man in the uniform was not equally polite. What do you do?
Do I recognize the crest, or can I do a check?
I'll let you do a history check as well. Yeah, roll a history check.
Ooh, 4 of 5.
He's probably
One.
just some guy that's dressed up silly.
I guess I will go up to the man.
Oh, howdy, lady. How you doing?
Hey,
Want
sir.
some juice?
Yeah, I'm actually looking for your best red juice at your best price.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, let's see what I can do about that. Why don't you, He stands up and talks to the crowd and says, well, then, folks, these people here have an uncommon request. I'm gonna need a moment to check my stock and see what I've got. Y'all just go about your business, and I'll be here later if and you need me. And he motions you forward.
We
I come
follow.
forward.
All right. Well, and as you all come forward, one of the orcs steps in front of you and holds up his hand and says, "Not so fast. One person only. Little one, you not dangerous, yeah?"
I don't know. I might be. Okay,
He
no,
looks at
no,
the other,
I'm not
He looks at the
dangerous.
other orcs and they all like start laughing.
All right.
The merchant rolls his eyes and he gestures for Athelflaed to move forward. He says, "Little lady, I do apologize. They're just trying to do their job, but they can be overzealous.
I can understand.
Now, I've got some fine red juice. The kind you can't find around here no more.
Okay.
It's costly, though. More than most can afford. Are you sure you got the gold?"
I believe I do. What's your price?
"Well, normally it'd be 400 gold, but let me see it and make sure you actually got it."
Doesn't Tara have the
Have
gold?
the gold, yeah.
Okay. So am I within like sight?
Oh, yeah,
Her?
you're just
Oh,
a little
okay.
bit away from them.
So I motion over that and I say Tara, he wants to see the gold.
All right. The orc waves you over.
Oh, okay.
Tara comes over and she's patting the pouch that has the gold from the innkeeper in it. But she's also at this time
Like a
remembering
large sack.
Yeah.
400 gold is a large sack.
large sack of gold that has the money in it. But she's also remembering that she needs to keep an eye on Athelflaed in
Right.
this empire. So like she walks over and like puts a hand on Athelflaed's shoulder.
Okay. The merchant says, "Well, let me see the gold. Let me at least look at it."
I take one piece out of the pouch.
Now, young lady, you know that's not what I mean. We're talking a lot of gold here.
What do you want me to do? Spill it on the ground?
Now, just hold the bag open. I can make a good guess. I got
All
a
right.
scale I could weigh it on if you'd let me do that.
Yeah, you can weigh it.
All right, let's do that. So he carries it up to the cart, sets it on a scale, puts some weights on the other side, and then hands it back to you and says, "Yep, that's 400 gold. Ain't that pretty?" Now, you know, in my experience, folks that'll have 400 gold probably have 500 gold. And I think maybe your friend needs this pretty bad. So, what do you say? Maybe you chip in a bit more?
No, this
I'll-
is how much he gave me.
I'll
This
give
is
you
how
a
much we'll
cold
lose.
bottle of apple juice. I'll throw it in.
Can I try to talk to him? I'm not there.
You're not there. You're
I-
standing back with Paxton, looking over the orcs, like, "What's going on over there? What are they saying?"
Well,
Tara's trying. Can Tara, like, or understand what apple juice is? Like, I'm not sure if this is thieves' cant or if he literally means apple juice.
Sure. Make an insight check.
Oh God, I got a 5.
Maybe he means something secret. Maybe he means apple juice. You don't know.
Is there anything?
He sees your. Let's see. Hold on. No, he doesn't notice that you're confused.
Can I?
What's so great about this apple juice?
Well, you know, it's refreshing and sweet. It's cold. I can keep it magically cooled. You know, it's real nice.
Can I do I guess it would be insight check, right?
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
19. Oh yeah. So 23 total.
Yeah. He's got apple juice. In fact, you think that's what the guy in the silly outfit got from him.
I think it's just apple juice.
No, I would like the 5 juice that you were promised at the price that it should be.
So I would like you to make a persuasion or an intimidation check, depending on which way you're going.
Persuasion. I got a 23.
All right. Well, all right then. I guess that's fair. Well, I'll tell you what. He motions over to the orcs, and a couple of them come over, and he has them grab this big box, this big crate out of the back of his cart. And they pick it up and drop it down in front of you, and he pulls out his hand for the bag of gold.
Is the crate open,
No,
or can
it
we
is
see what's
closed.
in it?
It is closed.
So I'm gonna need to make sure what's supposed to be in that crate's in that crate.
I don't hear anything open. All right, hang on. You bring your little friend over there and let her have a look, okay?
All right.
All right. He walks over there and sort of puffs out his robes that he's wearing and tries to sort of conceal what you're doing. Make a stealth check to try to open this thing in as non-obvious a manner as possible.
Me,
You-
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ethelflad.
Well, 5, 12.
12. All right. Yeah, no one near you appears to notice anything, as far as you can tell. There are, in fact, 5 bottles filled with a bright red liquid, packed in straw, inside this crate.
Do I know what it's supposed to look like?
You've seen healing potions before. They look
Okay.
something like this.
Okay. So I look over at Tara and I nod. Everything's all right.
Okay.
Okay. You close the crate, I suppose?
Mhm.
You close the crate, and you hear a clear voice call out. And a man says, "Everyone who can hear my voice, do not move. We will be checking your papers. You will not move from this spot. I will be very cross." And you can see the man in the silly outfit is walking toward you. And he's
We
got
all heard that.
Yes, you all hear that. In fact, everyone around you just sort of freezes, and you can see this large group of soldiers walking behind him. The crowd freezes around you, and you can hear, now that it's just deadly silent, you can hear an infant crying. The orcs lower their weapons, and they all look a little bit nervous, and they stand silently by the wagon. And the merchant reaches into his robes, and he pulls out some papers.
And
What do you
then,
guys do?
I guess I pull out we have the papers
you have your
on us.
papers.
Yeah, I just pull them out.
I
All right.
put the gold back into my backpack as I get my papers.
Oh, the merchant has the gold.
Oh, okay, cool.
So the first thing the guy does is he walks up to this merchant and starts looking over his papers, and then he looks through his cart and notes his gold. And this man wearing this bright uniform takes a bottle of apple juice off the cart and then points north and says, "Go." And the merchant very quickly bows and motions to the orcs, and they start heading toward the north gate. And the man in the silly uniform, well, what Athelflaed thinks is a silly outfit, pops open the cork, takes a drink of this apple juice, and then he turns to you, and the guards walk up to you and hold out their hands. "Papers."
Who's you?
All of you. Each of you have
Oh,
a
okay.
guard walking up to you and,
I-
and demanding papers.
Bring mine out. And...
Okay. Great.
Athelflad, show him our papers.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
The guard looking over Tara's paperwork says, "Sir, you might want to see these." And the captain walks over and grabs the paper and says, "Arrival. We have 2 visitors from Arrival. I do not think anyone told me of this, nor have I seen you before." And he takes Astor's paperwork and says, "Married? How lovely. Tell me, what brings you to Drongledoon?"
Honeymoon.
Yes, we've heard that the Empire is beautiful this time of year.
It's the only place I haven't been before, so we had to come.
Make a deception check. I'll give you advantage because
Yeah.
he's helping you. And he'll make an insight check to oppose.
I got an 8.
He looks right on the fence. He looks like he can't quite make up his mind. He says, "Really? You honeymoon in Drongledoon?"
Well, as you can see from my armor, I'm a fighter, and I've heard some great things about the institutes here, and I know that this is Drongledoon is the training city of the army, so I came here to look around and see if I could learn anything.
And
I unfortunately had to bring my husband around because, he's
I'm famous. I'm a famous musician. I travel all over.
and he's kind enough to come to Drongledoon with me to see fighting.
He turns to Paxton and Athelflaed and says, "And these are your friends?"
Well, we just met them in our journeys here.
Yes.
And why are you here?
Why am I here? Are you asking me, good
Yes.
sir?
Yes. A noble cleric from the city of Four, and a halfling administrative assistant. It says here. She does not look very organized.
I'm traveling looking for healing herbs, my good man.
And I'm helping.
I see. That is a very nice weapon you have there. Your mace.
Indeed.
He looks at you.
Hold
And
on.
the guards all kind of look at each other. And you notice the crowd is kind of backing away. And he says, "May I see it?"
Sure. And I unholster it and I hold it before him.
Let me rephrase. Give it to me.
To let you look at it or to let you have it?
Da. Let me look at it.
Okay, I allow him to look at it.
Alright, he takes the mace and says, Yes, it is very nice. Nearly a luxury good. You will pay 50 gold sumptuary tax. As a noble, I am sure this is trivial for you. And 50 gold more for the animated rag. It is probably unlicensed, but I will overlook that.
Obviously, I don't carry that much money around with me whenever I'm traveling, but, would you accept who could I pay this amount to at a later date?
You will pay it now.
What if I simply don't have that much money on me, my good man?
Then I will be suspicious about what is on your paperwork.
Sir,
Perhaps your friends are willing to pay for you.
my good sir, you are an outstanding warrior, I assume, and you shouldn't sully yourself with these kinds of things. I'm sure there are others who could be better served by you. This gentleman is a healer. He saves lives. I don't think there's any reason to do something like this today. And I cast Charm Person on him.
Ooh, okay. What's the difficulty?
It's a wisdom saving throw of 14.
Oh, you got lucky. He says, "Yes, I see your point. This seems like nice man. Perhaps today we let him go."
Oh, you're an outstanding
And the
gentleman.
guards all look at each other. "Sir? Yes, we let him go. Today is your lucky day."
I look surprised that worked. I'm like, oh,
I knew you were a reasonable man. Athelflaed, please fetch me my mace.
And I go and I get his mace.
Yes,
Here
he
you go,
hands you the
sir.
mace. Please enjoy your honeymoon here in Drongledoon.
That
Thank
was
you so much.
nerve-wracking.
Good sir, could I get your name?
Yes, I am Captain Branco.
Bronco?
No, Branco.
Bronco.
Yes.
Ah. Well, thank you very much, Captain Bronco.
So now what are you doing? He
Are they
leads
leaving?
his guards away from you. The guards are all casting looks back at you.
I
Do we have our
guess.
crate?
No, they do not have your crate.
Okay.
Your crate is lying there on the ground.
We pick up our crate and go.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got an hour?
Yeah.
Yes, we walk speedily, yet nobly.
And take a random route
Okay.
to get back to the inn.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I say, thank you so much for getting me out of that mess, Aster. I mean, thank you kindly.
No problem, no problem. I was very scared for a second there, but it worked out because, after all, I am an incredible bard.
Starting to think maybe keeping this guy around is a pretty good idea.
I agree.
Thank you.
I'm making a check here and making... Right. You make a long, circuitous route back to the Blackwood. This town is a kind of a depressing place to be. It's not well maintained. It's kind of wet and dark. But you do make your way back to the Blackwood. The Blackwood Inn has a small group of lunchtime customers now. You can see Epilema is seated at the bar eating a bowl of soup. The two women in robes are back at a corner table now, still looking shadowy and menacing. And now there's a gnome that you haven't seen before sitting at a table alone in the middle of the room, except for a four-legged mechanical device that he has scurrying back and forth across the table. He's alternating between taking bites of a large piece of buttered bread and making adjustments to this little automaton. And you can see that the secret door downstairs is closed.
Do we recognize that the automaton, or at least the way it looks, does it look similar to something we've run across before?
No, it doesn't look familiar. It just looks like looks kind of crude compared to ones you've seen before.
Okay.
Do we see Bovin?
Bovin is at the bar.
All right.
Oh, you're back?
Yep.
Any luck?
Yep.
Really? That's it? That simple? No trouble?
We made it.
Nothing that can be traced back to you, good sir.
All right. That doesn't sound totally reassuring, but great. Let me see the goods.
I bring over the crate.
All right. Well, he opens the crate and looks inside and says, This is amazing. I can't believe you did it. Well, I'm going to take these downstairs. And that's great. Thank you. And as he does this, Athelflaed, you notice the door open a crack? And a halfling sticks her head through the crack in the door, and looks around the room, and then closes it again.
So that halfling opened up the front door to the bar?
That's right, and looked inside, and then closed the door.
Did the halfling seem like it met any of our eye contact or anything?
Sure. Just looked around, but didn't just look at you. Looked just around the whole room, and then closed the door. You're the only one that's noticed, Athelflaed.
I motion over to Tara, and I pull her to the side and tell her that there's a halfling. Is it a woman or a
One,
man?
yes.
Okay. Halfling woman who just peeked out of the door, and to be on guard.
Is there a window?
Yeah, there are windows.
Can I peek out?
Sure. You don't see her.
Do I see anything in the street that looks...
You can see people lined up in queues outside different businesses, and you can see some people walking up and down the street, but you don't see anything else.
Okay.
Did the halfling look nervous at all, or she just peeked out and closed the door?
Oh, she just looks like no particular expression on her face. She's just looking around.
Okay.
So he takes his crate of potions and takes them downstairs, and then comes back up and asks you if you want anything for lunch.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So he'll get you some bread or some soup or both, and he's not even charging you.
Wow.
All right. So you guys are in there eating, and then suddenly
Uh-oh.
the door slams open, and a city guardsman steps into the room.
Is it Captain
one?
Drunkle?
Just one, although you can see other people behind him. You can see more men behind him. And he says, "This is a raid. You will all stay where you are. You will be taken into custody and processed at the keep." And the two women at the corner table look at each other, and they immediately stand up and pull their hands up out of their robes. Bovin ducks behind the bar. The gnome looks terrified. Epilema is sitting at the bar, and she gets a huge smile on her face. And she hops off the bar stool,
Oh no. She's gonna
pulls the
go.
battle axe off her back, and says, "Now this is more like it, yeah.
Oh, I
I'm
like
gonna enjoy this."
Oh no.
What are you going to do?
Exactly how many people are behind him?
You can see at least 3 other people, but there are probably more.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't know if that's a fight we.
I mean,
Do I know if this is a fight that we can win?
You know that these are city guards, so they're probably not extremely powerful, but there may be lots of them.
my thinking is that we probably could win, but then we have killed city guards and we are now on the run, probably known throughout the Iron Empire, and we've thrown poor Bovin under the bus. They're gonna never let this go for his establishment. So if we can be peaceable about this, I think that'd be the best situation, but I'm not opposed to fighting.
I'm going to roll initiative, assuming you guys are just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
The guards are not moving real fast because they did not expect that anybody would put up any fight. They got a 3. Epilema gets...
What kind of armor does she have on?
She's a barbarian.
Right.
Yeah, so
She
she's...
might not have.
Yeah, because I was wondering if she's unarmed sitting in the inn. You know, what kind of chances does she have?
Equipment-wise, your question was, what is Epilema wearing? She is not wearing any armor.
Oh.
She is wearing a tunic and some boots, and she's got a pack on her back. Well, I guess the pack's on the ground next to her. You can see she's got a ring on and a feather headdress, and this she's got a javelin and a hand axe and this battle axe. She looks like she is ready to tear someone apart, and she gets 16. You guys aren't doing anything?
I'm watching to see what happens.
Okay.
What unfolds if we go to the keep?
You're asking them?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I know.
He said you're going to be processed.
He just said it's a raid and we're going to be processed. at the
Correct.
keep.
I'll tell you what. We'll roll initiative for everybody just to put you in order, and you can ask her a question or something like that if you want. Tara, what did you get?
19.
Aster?
13.
13. And Paxton?
9.
And Athelflaed.
12.
And the 2 women, who also look like they're going to put up a fight, got a 14.
Are these the menacing women?
These are the menacing women in the corner. They look like they are ready to cast some spells.
Ooh. I motion over to the group and ask them if we want to think about making a run for it when things start getting sticky between those who want to fight the city guard.
All right, well, Tara, it's your turn. You're going first. You can see Epilema is about to charge.
Tara stands up and holds her hands up and is going to try and use persuasion.
All right?
What's the meaning of this lunchtime raid on a friendly inn? Can't we all just calm down for a moment and, maybe you can explain what the problem is?
All right, make a persuasion check.
That is a 19.
All right, the guard looks for a moment like he might be willing to listen. And he starts to talk, but it's not his turn. And Epilema acts after you. That's all you're going to do is talk, right?
Yes.
All right, Epilema charges, and she does something a little weird. She charges straight into the midst of these guards, just like through the door and into the midst of these guards, triggering lots of attacks of opportunity.
Whoa.
But she's moving really fast. And also, she's a halfling. She is going to use her eagle action, bonus action actually, and she's raging. She's just, you can see her face is just going red, and that vein is bulging out in her forehead again. She charges straight into the midst of these soldiers. They get attacks of opportunity on her, but they have disadvantage on them. And they all miss. She is now surrounded by these guards. Hold on. There are 2 more I forgot about. One of them hit her.
So all of them are focusing on her?
What's that?
All of them are focusing on her?
All of them are just totally focusing on her. She has just charged into the midst of them with this battle axe, and they are all just... They're trying to bend down and stab at her and grab her, and she's moving so fast, and she's so small, they just can't get her. One of them manages to nick her, and she's going to take half damage because she's raging. And that does... All right, so she takes 5 points of damage from that.
I mean, I would say that we all make a run for it while depending on what the layout of the room is, can
I think they're
we
blocking the doorway.
open the windows and scram out, or...
I can try to calm their emotions so we can have a civilized talk.
I don't think their emotions are the ones that need calming at this point.
I know. My beautiful instruments can do the trick.
But if they get out of the doorway, Epilema might be a great distraction for us to peace out.
That is 100% true.
All right, and she's going to make 2 attacks.
All right.
A natural 20.
Whoa. Man.
She's kicking butt.
We won't have to fight. We can just watch.
Grab some popcorn.
A natural 20. So she does. She takes down a guard.
Wow.
Ooh.
One guard she just chops him off at the legs, and he goes down,
My God.
screaming. And she swings at another. Hit. And he is in really bad shape.
She is fierce.
And the guards are looking a little panicky. And that brings us to the women, the robed women. One of them casts magic missile.
God.
a
Something is
bloodbath.
going on here.
The injured guard is hit by a whole bunch of missiles. He's just suddenly knocked back by this series of blue bolts that come out of this woman's hands, and he goes down. And the next woman, she casts a chromatic orb. You guys are standing there, I guess, and suddenly just the air is filled with screams and blue bolts and this
I'm ducking.
sphere flying through the air. She has to make a ranged touch attack. She hits, and he takes 3d8 acid damage.
So this is like area of effect, right? I mean, like
A chromatic orb is just a one person.
Oh, okay. So there's no chance that any of these are gonna.
Nobody else is gonna get hit. Just the one guy she hit, and he is injured but not down. She hits a guy with this sphere of acid, and he is clutching at his face and skin as it starts to burn away.
Oh my God.
And the two women sort of look at each other and smile. And now it is Aster's turn.
I've just seen this happen.
You've seen this happen, yes. And you can hear from outside, and as you look out the windows now, you can see, because they're backing away from the door, there are guards sort of backing away from the scene of this combat. There are more guards outside. There are probably 10 guards.
I'm going to use a bonus to talk to my crew.
A free action of talking. Yes, go ahead.
So, what's the plan? What are we doing? Are we fighting? Are we running? Are we
I
singing?
really want to run. Oh, you seen this?
You can hear Epilema crying with joy. Yeah, take that.
It's a bloodbath in here. We gotta go.
Yeah, I don't think sticking around here is a wise idea.
So can we?
Come on, everybody, help me out. This is fun.
Oh.
Remember, wasn't
you in.
Epilema going to help us get to where we needed to go?
Oh yeah,
Shouldn't-
she's our guide.
Tara is looking for people to protect other than her friends. Like,
She-
is there anyone?
The gnome is about to dive under the table.
Hey Aster,
Yes.
what happens when a charm person wears off?
They realize they've been charmed, and
Cool, thanks.
but they wouldn't know where we went.
We definitely can't go to the keep then.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah,
All right, so Aster, you have spent your turn talking.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
only
no.
a 6-second turn.
That's fine.
All right, and the next person to go, actually, basically at the same time as you, is Bovin. And Bovin crawls out from behind the bar and then stands up with his hands up and says, I'm not with them. I'm not with them. Don't hurt me. And runs out the door, squeezing past the guards who basically grab him and throw him out the door.
what a scumbag.
Throw him out the door like they're arresting him, or
Yeah.
throw him out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Athelflaed, it's your turn.
I look for any available windows and I start motioning for our group to just start jumping out the windows.
All right,
and
they're
stuff.
closed.
Oh,
I
they're
mean,
closed?
there's
We can't
there's
open
actual
them?
glass in the way.
Is there anything that I can do to bash them open?
Sure, you could grab a chair and try to bash through the window. You can see there are guards standing outside.
Predicament we're in.
I know. We're kind of close, and there's no other door in this building, right?
There is the secret exit that leads to the downstairs space. The
Is it
cellar.
locked?
It is closed. It's not locked.
I open it.
Oh,
All right, you'll have to
Let's
go
go.
behind the bar and turn the tap on the barrel to open
Okay,
it.
yeah, let's do that.
Poor Bovin, though.
This is our bar now.
Forget that.
I don't know.
Tara's ethics are horrified.
All right. Okay. Well, the two women, as Athelflaed starts to move behind the bar and move for the tap, the two women cry out, "No! Don't do that!"
I stop. I look at them. Why not?
We're out of time on Athelflaed's turn.
Oh,
but
okay,
It's up to
sorry.
you if you want to flip it or not. Do you want to open the door or not?
I hold back.
Okay. Paxton, it's your turn.
So, Bovin's not fighting. He got captured.
He gave up. Yeah, he
The-
surrendered.
Our guide is outside fighting. Two menacing women who seem to know what's going on because they're telling Athelflaed not to pull on the tap, say no, and they're fighting. Seems like we gotta just fight our way out of this.
All right.
So I run up to the main guy that's in the bar.
Yeah, the guy that's actually standing inside the bar. All right.
Yeah, and I grapple him.
You grapple him. Okay, make a strength athletics check.
Okay? 17.
You grab him. He is grappled. Which means that...
Actually, no, it's a 21.
Okay, well, he's even more grappled.
Yes.
His speed is now 0. He can't benefit from any bonus to his speed. Basically, he can't move.
And this is
He
the
can
main
still fight,
guy?
but he can't move anywhere. What's
This
up?
is the main guy?
This is the guy who came into the bar and said, freeze, and we're going to take you to the keep.
Okay.
I want to whisper into his ear. You and your friends should probably go now.
He looks confused. Why?
Why did you come here in the first place? We didn't do anything. Look at all the trouble you're causing.
You were followed to this bar, and you attempted to charm the captain.
I didn't do it.
Your friend did.
Which friend? I don't have any friends.
All right, so that's Paxton's turn. All right, the guard will attempt to break loose.
Okay.
Probably didn't. You need to make a strength check.
Ooh, natural 1.
Oh, he broke loose. He rolled a 7.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, so you sort of clumsily, sloppily slap each other up as you try to maintain your grip, and he tries to get away, and he sort of somehow manages to get out of your grip. It's
I
not,
yell, fine, I'll let you go.
it's not very graceful on either side's part, but he is free from you, and he shouts, "Arrest him all!"
All right, they're gonna.
And he also says, "Captain, what do we do?"
Uh-oh.
Oh.
The rest of the guards need to go, so a bunch of them are going to attack Epilema, no longer with disadvantage. We have a hit, a hit, a hit, a hit, and a miss.
Either these guys are killer mercenaries or Epilema has really bad AC.
All right, she takes a bunch of damage, but acts like she doesn't even feel it. She's laughing. Yeah, bring it on.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, now it's getting interesting. What's Tara doing?
Tara is has drawn her hilt. It is now a longsword, and she is headed towards the door to assist Epilema.
All right.
She is
Now,
not,
there's first this guard near the door that Paxton was wrestling with, and he's standing there. Or you can move past him and try to get into the mix with Epilema.
well, I guess in order to not incur an attack of opportunity, I will start with him.
Okay.
Tara is not trying to be lethal, but, you know.
Okay, non-lethal damage is fine. A 1.
Yep. I should have rolled a halfling.
All right, so you step up to this man who's shouting out to some captain for help, for instructions, and do you want to roll a percentile? I'll let you roll the percentile.
69.
You accidentally bump into Paxton when you're swinging, and Paxton will suffer disadvantage if he makes an attack next round.
Dang it.
And the guard is confused about what you're trying to do. Epilema gets to go. She's shouting with joy.
Like, what is she on?
And she makes
Some
2
rage.
attacks with her battle axe. A hit and a hit. And
Is this just a regular battle axe, or is it
you don't know if it's magical,
enchanted in it all?
but it might be. It looks nice. It looks like a nice battle axe. I don't know. So that's
Maybe like a children's-sized battle axe.
There you go.
it's not a great axe. It's a battle axe.
It's a battle
So it's a
axe.
normal-sized battle axe.
Okay.
She takes out another guard and does some damage to the next one. Yeah, take that. Yeah, who's next? And the guards are starting to look a little nervous. She has already killed 3 of them. Well, I guess she had a little help with one of them, with the magic missiles and the chromatic orb on that guy. But yeah, she's swinging this great axe around here pretty recklessly. Although not reckless attacks. Technically, they're not reckless attacks because that would trigger advantage against her. And now it is the women's turn, and one of them moves over toward the bar. All right, so she uses her movement to move over near the bar, and she says to Athelflaed, "Don't expose the safe room."
What on earth is going on here?
And she casts magic missile again, and she's going to cast it at the guy that Paxton was talking to, and that Tara tried to hit. He is pummeled with magic missiles and falls to the ground. And that now it's the other woman's turn. And she'll cast, she's going to step up to the door, sort of shove Tara aside, and she's going to cast Burning Hands on this crowd of guards outside, and actually Epilema.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, where we're standing in this room.
So you're
within
behind the bar,
vicinity
which
to
is sort
each
of near
other.
the door. And Aster, I think, is sort of in the middle of the room.
Okay.
Paxton is near the door. Tara is near the door, but not quite at the door, just maybe 5 feet from the door. And this woman is standing right in the doorway. Bovin is somewhere outside.
Would you say I'm within 5 feet of anyone?
Right now, there's no one to attack where you're standing right now. At least not in melee. You could use a ranged weapon. But if you just took a small step, you'd be within 5 feet of Tara and Paxton and this woman. So, saving throws, because it is a cone area of effect spell. Oh, got a few people who saved. So the damage is... Ooh, that's a lot of damage, though. Oh, Epilema has to save. Oh, yeah, she definitely saved. She rolled a 20. So she takes that much. This woman steps up to the door, casts Burning Hands. This gout of flame shoots out in a triangle away from her hands, and you hear screaming from outside. And smoke is pouring into the doorway. And you can see through the windows that there are several people running around on fire outside now.
Oh my god.
And Epilema is just laughing. And the guards outside are starting to look pretty panicked. Aster, what are you going to do?
How does Epilema look? Like, can
She is injured, but for someone who has been stabbed multiple times and just been burned, she doesn't look that bad.
okay. Is there a way for me to cast an area of effect that doesn't hit them, but hits the guards outside, and can not hit the audience? I'm assuming the audience is running away.
The audience?
The people outside.
Oh, yeah, people outside are gone.
Okay.
The people that were lined up in queues outside, they're gone.
Well, I imagine we would be behind the bar, though. Like,
Well, no, Tara and Paxton.
oh,
are
they're
not.
by the door, and
Yeah.
Is there a way that I can dodge them but hit everybody else?
You could hit some of the people outside. What area of effect are we talking about? Is it a cube or a...
It's a sphere,
How big is the sphere?
10 feet.
Yeah, you could burn, let's say, 4 of the guards that are outside, or whatever. You can hit 4 of the guards with whatever spell you're talking about.
Okay, I'm going to pull out my whistling rapier
Uh-huh.
as it makes noise, I think.
Ah, yeah, you guys haven't seen this before. He pulls out his sword, and it has a bunch of holes in it.
So as it makes its noise, I'm going to point it at, because it reaches 60 feet,
Right.
at the guards, and I'm going to cast Shatter on them.
They have to make a saving throw.
15 Constitution.
All right, so 4 of them are affected by Shatter. Fail, 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 fail. All failed.
Okay, they take 3d8 damage. 8 and a 5, another 5, so 18.
They all fall to the ground.
Got it.
You have just killed several people. Yes. Yes. they
Paxton
are-
looks at Aster horrified.
Yeah.
And then I
They're-
bow.
You see now that that Epilema now has 2 guards next to her. Yeah, so that's all you can see for now. Athelflaed, what are you doing?
can I go ahead and I'll aim with my crossbow because
Okay.
I'm far away, right?
Yes,
Yep.
you could
So-
hop on the bar and shoot over the people there and try to hit one of the guards that's attacking Epilema if you want.
Okay,
to.
I'll do that. 20.
Oh, jeez. All right, so double your damage.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It doesn't say on here. The crossbow is a D8, I believe. 8. So 16.
No, well, you
No.
need to roll the die again.
Oh, okay,
actually.
yeah. And a 1, so 9. So plus 3, so 12.
So 12 damage. All right, this person is this guard is badly hurt. You've hit him somewhere in the chest, close to his heart, you think. And he is looking panicky. And it is now Paxton's turn.
So where am I at in...
You are in the doorway. On the ground next to you is this guard who is bleeding out. There's a woman standing in the doorway. And then outside the doorway is Epilema, who has one uninjured guard fighting her and one badly injured guard. And you can see there are some other guards burning and rolling around on the ground outside the window. And you're not sure what else is going on out there. Your view is not unobscured completely.
So I heard someone say, "What do we do, Captain?"
Yes.
That makes me think that Bronco is
Yes.
around.
Okay.
Do I see him?
Not from where you're currently standing.
How much of my movement would I have to use to run out to where I can see unobstructed?
You could just step out the doorway.
Okay, I take a step out the doorway.
You step out the doorway. You can see running down the alley to the north is the captain and also a halfling running up the street.
Is it the same one that was peering out?
He didn't see that.
Oh,
halfling.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it look like the captain has any weapons on him?
Yes.
Can I tell what they are?
He's got a longsword.
He's got a longsword. Okay. How far away is he from me?
Oh, he's 50 feet.
50 feet? Okay. I'm going to sprint towards him.
Okay. That's what you're just going to spend your round moving?
Trying to remember. Yes, I do have second wind.
You mean action surge? You want to
Oh,
if you
yeah.
wanted to move extra, you're probably trying to action surge.
That's right, and I don't know that I have action third. No, I'm a level 1 fighter.
Oh.
What? You're level 2 cleric, level 2 fighter.
Ooh, I need to print out a new character sheet then. All right, well then I should have action surge, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I am going to spend my first action. I'm going to dash up to the captain. And then I'm going to action surge to use command on him.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, drop your weapon.
It has to be command has to be something really like a one-word command.
Drop. Yeah, basically, he has to save on a DC 13 wisdom throw, or he drops whatever he's holding
Yep.
and ends his turn.
You cast the spell. DC what? What was the DC again?
Wisdom save DC 13.
He fails. He drops his sword and continues running.
Okay, so I still have, can I, as a bonus action or something, pick up his sword?
Yeah, you can run toward him. You can continue moving forward and grab the sword if you want.
Okay, yeah, I want to pick up his sword.
Okay, you pick up his sword. The guards go. Their choice for this round is to disengage and flee. So the two guards that are still on Epilema, they disengage from her, and they just run in opposite directions. One runs south, one runs north. And Paxton, you can see that there's no one else alive out here. Tara, what do you want to do?
So there are 3 remaining people. Paxton's going after one, and then the other 2 are fleeing in opposite directions.
One is heading the same direction as the captain, and one is heading the opposite direction.
Hera is going to free action speak. We can't be seen around the Empire if they get away. And she is going to dash after one of them.
Epilema points to the one to the south.
She points to the south. She runs to the south.
All right.
But can she attack, or is she just?
Yeah, you can actually attack if you want to. Yeah, you can catch up and attack.
Yes.
He's only moved 30 feet.
All right. I got a 19.
You hit.
12 damage.
He is down. The other 2 are still running to the north, and that is Epilema's turn. She says, "Don't worry about Bovin, yeah? You'll be fine. But we gotta get out of here, yeah?
Agreed.
All right, follow me."
I'm still inside, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She also says to the ladies, "Thanks for the help, ladies." So the women in the robes. And the women nod, and they disappear. She says, "Come on, follow me. We gotta get going."
What about the other 2?
Which other 2?
The guard that ran to the east and the guard that Paxton's running
forget
after.
it. No way. We're not gonna be able to stop the captain and the guard and the halfling. No way. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna make it. We're not gonna stop all of them. We gotta get out of here.
We can stop them all.
They're running into the market square.
You gonna kill him in front of everybody?
Yeah, that's fair. Because then we would have to kill a lot more people.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Yeah,
I don't mind killing these jerks.
killed
but
my fill today. My hand shaking.
I'm not into killing a whole bunch of people in the town square.
Okay, well, do you know anywhere we can get disguises?
We don't have time for disguises either. We gotta just move.
Okay. Well,
I mean, unless you got magic.
not me.
Let's just get the heck out of here and figure out what to do next. Then we're
Alrighty.
safe.
All right, the gnome is still hiding under the table.
All right, we gotta get out of here fast. They're gonna be back for you, so we gotta move. The good news is that information travels really slowly here because the bureaucracy is such a disaster. If you make a run for it now, you might stay ahead of the information, Yeah, what?
The crate. Did the crate disappear? Is it still
He took
there?
it downstairs.
Okay, so, yeah. All right, let's go.
I kind of feel like we should raid the basement.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I want to steal those potions.
I don't
wanna
think we have
steal things from
time.
Bovin.
I don't think we have time for that.
All right.
We've
let's
already
go.
caused him enough trouble.
Yeah, it'd be better to leave it closed because I think he'll be fine. This is a safe house, people meet here. Well, anyway, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
So you got a choice though, right? If you're really looking to go to the Eastern Bubble, I can help you, yeah?
That's where we're going.
So, we ought to talk about which way we're going to go. If we go, I think it's best to go out the south gate if you're going for the Eastern Bubble. Especially since everybody else ran north.
Yeah, that
Right,
sounds good.
Let's go.
So she leads you down the Epilema leads you south down the street, away from the square, and then suddenly cuts northwest.
We don't want to travel along the wall, right? We need to cut through town.
So the sun is bright overhead, but the second stories of these buildings sort of jut out over the street. The second stories are wider than the first stories, which makes the street a bit darker than you would expect. It makes it a little bit easier for you to move around in the shadow, although you're not stealthing, but still, it's a little better to move this way. And you reach a wider, brighter street that must be the main thoroughfare running north-south through town, and it runs straight to the south gate. And you can see 4 guards standing at this gate, and there are probably more in the towers, although you can't see it, the towers that flank the gate. You can hear the thud of booted feet, and Epilema points west. And you can see a large group of guards making their way down the wall, on top of the wall, toward the gate.
She says, we need a distraction, yeah?
I look at Aster.
Yeah, we all look at Esther.
Yeah.
You can see that there are merchants bringing in goods through the gate. There's a cart full of pottery. There's a horse merchant leading several horses. There's a cart full of hay. A few more people are exiting the gate as well. Most of the nearby buildings are residential, though some have first-floor shops, including a baker, a weaver, and 2 street-side bars. The baker and the weaver have long queues of people outside them looking bored and tired, weary. The line from the baker's front door wraps around the block and out of sight.
What kind of distraction are we talking about?
Just something quick. We just need to, make them look at something else. Deal with a different problem.
Got it. I am going to use prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
Thank you. Prestidigitation. I'm gonna cause. Is there anything? I'm gonna cause a man in the middle of the square to soil himself.
All right, one of the guards?
Yeah, I'm gonna cause him to
Okay.
get soiled.
Does he get a saving throw?
No.
Oh, okay. One of the guards is standing there by the gate, and he suddenly says, "What the? What is going on?" And the person next to him says, "Carl, again? Go and change your armor." And he's looking around in confusion.
And Epilema says, yeah, that's a nice try. I got one of them.
I can do it 3 times. So I do
Okay,
it.
all right. Well, all the guards are now all have wet pants.
Is that a
And-
cantrip?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a pants soiling cantrip now.
Uh huh.
They
That's
all
awful.
they all look around in confusion. What is happening? Epilema says, I don't think that's gonna cut it, buddy. Tell you what. And she pulls out a flask of oil
Oh.
and she throws it, and it lands on the cart of hay,
Uh-oh.
and
Oh.
it goes up in this giant roar of flame. And she says, "That's a distraction."
Ah. I guess mine was a little immature.
Oh my gosh.
And the horses are just going crazy, and people are screaming and running away from it, and the guards that all stop worrying about their wet pants, and they run for the cart and start looking for ways to put out the fire before it catches something else on fire. And Apolima says, "Now, let's go."
Yep,
She
I
starts
go.
running
Yeah.
for the gate.
I give Aster a really judgy look and then move towards the gate.
Poor Aster.
Oh man.
You run out through the gate. The guards are totally unattentive to you. They have no idea that you've moved past them. And other people are also running in and out and avoiding some customs duties as a result. You run out the gate. You can see that this road stretches south in front of you. On either side of the road, there are wheat fields. So as you run out and past some of these other people who are moving in, and you sort of lose yourselves in the crowd, you get the sense that you're probably in the clear for now.